A little intro. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here locked and loaded once again. It's me speaking to you, Jeffrey Wilson, and I have a very good friend to the show, it appears, Mr. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, coming back on to chop it up on his, man, Christmas came a little late again for this man. Mr. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, what's up, brother?
What's up, my friend? Glad to be on with you again.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. We had to do a little rescheduling. I knew when I asked you, brother, I knew people, going to be chomping at the bit. Some of the bigger media outlets are going to be getting at you. And thank you for rescheduling. We adapted. We overcame, and here we are.
No problem, man. I always enjoy getting on with you, man.
I appreciate it, man. Seriously. And so check it out, ladies and gentlemen. If you've listened to the show, if you listened to Stephen on my show or any show, I like to call the cat, he's silent but violent. He's not one of those cats who runs off at the mouth all the time. And, I was kind of hoping to see that a little bit of WWE come out of him. And I'm telling you what, we got 2017 Stephen Wonderboy Thompson version 2 going on because, what was it, last week, brother? Last week, he hopped on Twitter. And he doesn't do this that much, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't do it. So he hopped on Twitter last week and got at the champ, Tyron Woodley. How'd that play out, my man? Tell me, you explain it better than I do. How'd that all play out? Because that's not really like you, and you did something a little out of character.
Yeah, man. Here's a guy that who's the champion, who's you go to a draw with somebody, and to me, if I was the champion, I wouldn't be happy with that. It's almost like you got that belt as a participation trophy, basically, because it was a draw. There was no winner. And he even said in the past that we have unfinished business, but it seemed like lately he was talking about everybody else but me. Talking about fighting George, Nick Diaz, even going up a weight class and fighting Bisping.
Yes.
I'm like, what's going on, And you know what? I got the contract the beginning of December and ended up signing it and sending it right back. So I took a picture of me, my signature, and a picture of both of our hand raised, and I just said, hey, I'm waiting on you, man. And I think it got at him a little bit. We kind of went back and forth some, but it got him to sign that contract. We're getting ready to fight again March 4th, UFC 209, baby.
209 in Las Vegas. I mean, and I'm telling you, bro, you saw it happen. You did it. I mean, it was, 48 hours after you guys beefed? Even 24 hours. And he was out there telling the world, he's like, yo, I heard him on Ariel Hawani's. He's like, listen to my podcast today. I mean, he's making statements, and I understand fight talk. I love fight talk. I love hyping up the fight. That's why we come check it. He's just making statement, and I've got mad respect for your time. Please don't think this is anything but just still respect. But going at it in this way of, I'm going to end your career, Stephen. You make me want to throw up in this sense of like entitlement. You know what I mean? Like it was a draw, right? I've been watching combat sports forever, and almost every draw, you run it back. What are your thoughts on the fact that, like I said, you accomplished a lot in like 24, 48 hours and getting under his skin, man. What do you think? And getting into his head.
Yeah, man, and that was crazy because he was talking about it, everybody else, but nobody was really jumping the gun. They're like, all right, man, Tyron, I'll fight you. So it was almost like, and to call me entitled, man, I don't have an entitled bone in my body. I didn't beg for this fight. The UFC sent me the contract. I signed it, and I was kind of like, hey, has he signed it yet? No, he hasn't signed it yet. He's talking about everybody else fighting everybody else. I was like, wait a second. They sent me the contract. I know he's got the contract, probably sitting on his desk. And that just kind of upset me a little bit. Hey, and so I kind of got at him, kind of jabbed at him a little bit. And it really, immediately got under his skin for some reason. And, but you know what? That's okay. That's fine too. I mean, I get, I'm under his skin a little bit, and that, that can't be a good thing, especially when you get ready to go out there and do battle with somebody. But, man, it's going to end my career. But you know what? I've had guys say all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm focused on this fight, and that's it. Training, he can do all the smack talk all that he wants. And, we're going to settle it once and for all March 4th.
Indeed. I'm quite stoked for it. And I've obviously listened to some of your interviews after the fight, talking about maybe the plan B, or, what the next plan might be going at Tyron. It was very interesting watching that first fight, and we talked, I didn't, whatever. Believe me, bro, sitting in my armchair saying this shit, so please don't think I'm knocking your hustle. I just didn't see, after he took you down that first round, I didn't see a lot of the kicks and the strikes and the hook kicks and all the stuff you're usually known for. And how are you going to approach that, as well as I've heard you talking about wanting to put some weight on?
Yeah, man, I was walking around about 182. And I weighed myself before I stepped on the octagon. I was 178. I know Tyron's a big 170. So he's probably back up there to 195, 200.
Two bills, yeah.
I just felt really, really weak in those clinch positions on the ground. I just couldn't move the guy. So I know I had to weather the storm in the first round. I didn't feel. I just didn't let my hands go, to be honest. I didn't let my hands go. If you go back and watch some of my previous fights, I threw a lot of different kicks, different angles, a lot more volume. And I don't know why I did. I don't know if it was just the whole hype behind it. First fight being in Madison Square Garden. I don't know what it was.
Well, I mean, could it have been the effectiveness of that takedown, Tyron's initial takedown? I mean, I don't know if he cut you then. That's when he cut you with the elbow. But honestly, he didn't shoot after that either. That was just that one takedown. So I don't know. You guys both kind of were not out of your element, but you didn't strike. He didn't do the wrestling thing. So it was interesting.
Yeah, man, it was. And he ended up catching a lazy kick. And, and that right there was like, hey, man, this guy's a champion for a reason. I can't be throwing any lazy kicks. Or I got to be on edge every step of the way when I'm out there this next go around. And just letting everything go. Not worrying about anything. Just going out there and fighting. He fought me. You got your good days and your bad days in the gym. You spar. You got sparring partners. You spar all the time. And, you get the best of them. And the next day they may get the best of you. And sometimes you get those good days and bad days in a real fight, and that just wasn't my best day.
Right.
But you know what, man? I mentioned the best to get back out there again and go for round two because, I know that wasn't my best. And I know if you've seen him fight once, he doesn't really do a whole lot of changes. You've seen him fight 100 times, and I know that was his best, and still couldn't put me away.
Round two should be very interesting, man. Unfinished business. I don't know, some breaking news. I don't know if you saw, it's not really breaking, but I don't know, did you get a chance to catch the BJ Penn fight last night? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, man, poor man. I felt so bad for that guy. I mean, they
Did you know that going into it? I talked to Pat Miletich about it. I was so not stoked his last fight like 2 years ago and thought he should have been done then, so...
It looked horrible. He was doing some kind of weird stuff out there, a few years back. But I don't know. He's just been out for so long, and the game has changed in that short period of time. And back when he fought more of the stand there and brawl type guys, more of the wrestlers. This guy that he's fighting is an up and comer. He's a stud,
he is.
And he throws things that you don't normally see. And
he's like a little John Jones.
Oh, I know, man. I know it. That guy's. I mean, he's an athlete. And they put him with some guy like that. I don't think they should have put him with him, but I don't know, man. It was a bad night for BJ. I tell you that. I felt bad for him, man.
Yeah, and I've always just like I said, I've been a combat sports guy forever, and you see that happen way too often, man. From Joe Louis staying in, being a professional wrestler, to Mike Tyson holding on too long, Ali. I mean, you just see it all too frequently, and you hate to see it, right? And I'm not a warrior like you guys are, so it's like you guys live and breathe that stuff, and you guys have that kind of go out on your shield mentality a lot of the time. So it's really tough to. I mean, do you see it? It's obviously tough to hang it up.
It is, man. You see a lot of these guys who still train. They've retired for a few years, and what happens, I think, they are warriors. They've been doing it for a long time. They're just not in the limelight anymore, or maybe they're in the gym. They're still getting the best of some of their sparring partners, but it's still not the same when you're out there. Facing off against another high-level athlete who's been in the game and staying consistent, and not just in training, but the guy's all obviously younger, and you just feel like you can still go out there and hang, and that's not the case. And for me, if I was BJ's friend, I'd be, listen, man, you don't do it. You don't need to be going out there and could possibly seriously injure yourself.
Well, that's what's weird. He was training with Greg Jackson, I believe, and like I said, I was so unimpressed that last time. I couldn't imagine. BJ came in. I'm sure he looked good in the gym, like he said, but still, the guy he was going up against is 24, 25 years old. And it's biting off quite a bit for your first fight in a long time. I'm wondering where those guys' head were at. Was it just the money or whatever for them? They clearly had to have seen, like, all right, man, I love BJ, but he's not ready for this.
If it was me and if it was at our gym, we would have told him, but listen, man. Even though he doesn't want to hear it, and I don't care if it burns some bridges down, you don't want to see that your a sparring partner or a training guy get hurt. And, over the past years, as long as he's been fighting, he's taken some damage,
He's been in some wars, yeah.
Yeah. So, come on. Leave the game with your head held high. And man, the guy left a legacy. I mean, the guy has done enough.
Yeah.
So,
that's why I just hate to see it. Like what happened to Bernard Hopkins a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure if you're a boxing fan or saw that, but I'm just like, broke my heart, man. Like one of the last of the Mohicans of the real like kind of boxing era, just broke my heart, man.
It did, man. And, you know, and we just got to get some of these guys to be brave enough to tell these guys, no, you know. No, you don't need to step out there. You're going to get hurt.
What did I see the other day? I'm sorry, I'm digressing a bit, but this is Iran Barkley. Iran the Blade Barkley. I don't know if you remember him from back in the day. Maybe he might be a little too young, but he was a middleweight warrior back in the day, and he's, you know, pretty beat up now. And by the end of the interview, he was like, man, I still got one more in me, and I want to fight Tommy Hearns. I'm just like, WTF, brother. No, you don't have another in you. Please, like you said, leave your legacy intact. So, but not judging the Warriors, man. Like I said, BJ was a Warrior, and you, like I said, you just see that. You see guys holding on a while, just a little bit too long, and it kind of besmirches, if that's the right word, the legacy.
Yeah, man.
Tarnishes.
You know what? There's still a good way to go out and still not really compete, but train. You know, don't go out there and compete, but you stay consistent in the gym. Keep training in jiu-jitsu. Keep training. You know, get in there with some of the young studs and spar a little bit, but take it to that next level and go out there and compete with some of the highest, you know, athletes at the of the time. It's just not safe, man. You know, and me, I will never stop training. I don't think it's just part of me. Like you said, I'm a warrior. I'll get out there and duke it out whenever I retire. Still spar, but to compete at that level, nah, man, not at all.
Yeah, it's a small window, man. It's a small window. Another bit of news I thought was crazy. I was listening to Joe Rogan's Fight Companion last night, and he had mentioned Robbie Lawler. We had spoke last time, and you haven't heard much about Robbie since he lost to Tyron. I guess he has left American Top Team. Thoughts on that? And Robbie's future? You just haven't heard anything about him.
No, not at all, man. And I mentioned, I heard it was talking to somebody, they had mentioned it. I didn't think it was true because he's been with the ATT for a while, for so long. I don't know what he's doing now. I mean, do they know what Jim is going to? I mean,
I don't know. I'd love to see a nice reuniting of some militant fighting system. That would be pretty freaking boss, but, you know, who knows?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I want to keep my ears to Twitter and social media and see what's going on with that.
Yeah. I mean, Robbie's been my dude, man. Like I said, I obviously didn't want to see him lose against Tyron, but I'm anxious to see what his next move is. But he's went like super radio silent since he lost, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he actually came off of it, you know, very respectfully. You know, he admitted, hey, I lost the fight. You know, he was a better man, blah, blah, blah. Didn't make any excuses, but then silent. And that was kind of weird, you know. I heard he was supposed to fight somebody. I'm not really sure who it was. Maybe Cerrone or something, but then that fell through.
Yeah.
And then nothing since then. So
yeah.
I don't know what's going on there, where he's leaning towards, what gym. Is he going to keep competing? Yeah, man, I'm anxious to see what's going on.
He's been in a lot of wars, too, between Rory and Hendricks and Condit, and then getting knocked out by Tyron. You know, that's, woof. It's a lot of, and that's a lot of miles on Robbie, too. Those guys, I mean, you know how the Milicic fighting system, they used to just bang in those sparring sessions. So it's like that guy, he's got some miles on him.
Oh, yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, every title defense that he's had has been wars, man. I'm like just taking shots. I mean, just brutal fight of the night wars. And I don't know, maybe he might be just thinking about taking a break, you know, healing up.
Probably not a bad idea. I know, that's another guy whose legacy is like totally intact, man. Strikeforce champion, UFC. I mean, he's done it all, man. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I don't want to keep you obviously too much longer, bro. I just wanted to get your reaction. We've been, I've been obviously a huge fan, and I just didn't want to see. I had on Dean Thomas, you know, basically Tyron's trainer and good friend the other day. And, you know, I don't know if he basically sort of agreed with me on how fighters, they can't be, I mean, to keep the integrity of the sport alive, you can't be just doing these call-out fights. You can't be passing over your Wonderboys, your Jacques. Like, what is Bisping doing talking to Tyron? Stay in your division, get your butt whooped by Jacques or whoever, you know, Chris or whoever's up next. This jumping around just for the sake of jumping around is like, come on, man. It can't be all about this super fight madness.
I agree, man. It leaves those fighters who deserve that title shot just waiting in the wind. You know, what are they supposed to do next? You know, they're waiting. Do I go down and fight another fighter? No, man. You know, you've earned that spot, you know. So those guys, those champions, need to look at that and respect that because they were in the same situation earn your title, earn your money fight. Go out there and knock some guys out. Be exciting to be able to get that shot. But I think you got to earn. You got to defend that title a few times to the rightful guy. Then talk money fights.
I think old Conor, man, in the last couple years, I think Conor is showing folks that there is some serious money to be made in the fights we're talking about. You know what I mean? And not so much for the ranking fights. But I mean, it's like I said to Dean, I've said to you, it's got to be a happy medium. You know what I mean? I don't mind fan fights so much, but the window for you guys is so small, and the ability to make huge money is so big. It's tough, man. I don't know. You got to find a happy medium, but you still got to respect them rankings, man. Otherwise, the sport just gets kind of tainted a bit.
Yeah, man, I agree with you there. And fans, they like to see, they, of course, like you said, they like to see the money fights, but they also want to see, the rightful guys get it as well. I mean, that's the way it's been since day one.
Yeah.
You follow the rankings, and you beat a few, you defend that title, beat a few tough guys, then get that money fight if you still want it. But I agree with you 100%, man.
That'd be so great if we just see, like, breaking news. Jacare Souza signs to Bellator. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, my gosh.
Telling you, dude. Let them keep screwing this stuff up, Stephen. We're going to see. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. With the Reebok deal and all that other stuff, like I said, the small window, you watch. Anyway, I'm no Mystic Mac or anything, but we'll see what happens. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, what is it, my friend? March 7th?
March 4th,
March
209, main event, baby.
Yeah, man.
Everybody tunes in and check that out.
I definitely, man. March 7th, or March 4th, Las Vegas, right? You guys they're running that in Las Vegas, correct?
Yes, it will be in Las Vegas.
Cool. Very cool. Well, brother, you are welcome back anytime, and hopefully it will be with the strap, my man. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, also very gracious with his time coming back by. It's me speaking to you one more time. Everybody, peace and all that love. Stay tuned. There will be more. Thanks again, man. So appreciate it.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.
How's training going?
It's going good, man. I had Josh Koscheck in last week.
Nice.
Just strong wrestler.
Yeah.
He's got a fight coming up, so we just got some cross training in. Got Chris Weidman coming in, so we got a bunch of guys coming to town.
Koscheck still in the UFC?
Say that again?
Is Koscheck still in the UFC?
No, he's with Bellator.
Oh, wow, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool. All right, man. Well, you enjoy your day, and we will talk soon, man. You take care of yourself.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
Peace.
Bye-bye.